Rocket Lab, FOMO kicks in hard. Welcome back, guys, to the Lorenzo 2 Cents podcast. Ciao. And FOMO kicks in hard. It's not just about stock price, even though Rocket Lab stock has rocketed nearly 70% just in the past month. But it's also, there is something more than this that I think is more interesting. So let's stay tuned and listen to the till the end of this episode. Okay, first of all, let me just remind you that this is not financial or investment advice. So do your own due diligence. This is just for informational and entertainment purpose. Let's move forward. So we had a lot of hype in the last month. Think about the news about the rumor, or I think news, it was confirmed by Elon. I think SpaceX IPO next year and data center in orbit. So everything went up in the space economy, including Rocket Lab. But it was not just that. We even got very good number in Q3 for Rocket Lab, so well deserved. And on the bad side, the Neutron got delayed to Q1. And if you remember from my previous article, I predicted it. But I even thought there would have been a sell-off triggered by that. It didn't. It didn't happen. So probably we have likely good mature investors that are in Rocket Lab at this point, and they are seeing the big picture. They are understanding that space is the next big thing. While another thing that worried me a bit in the last article was that the backlog to revenue ratio was dropping for some quarters. So it is a leading indicator, of course, for revenue. But even this basically bottomed in Q2 because we had a jump back in Q3. So this is positive. Now, let's go, guys, to I'm scrolling my article here. So, table of contents. There are some news with this update. So, again, stay tuned. So, let me go through this. We have first the Q3 update, that is the normal article that I always publish and I read here on my podcast. And then we have additional sections. So we have the Lorenzo test takeaways and performance. Actually, this is always part of the article with a deep dive to date performance. But then we have the Business Ontology Framework by Lorenzo Testans that includes basically two pillars. One is the business ontology, and the other one is the 4D, four dimensions valuation model. And finally, I will share what is the Lorenzo 2 cents portfolio strategy. So these additional sections that you see here, I'm going to put them in all the next articles, but differently by this time, that is all free and open. From the next time, these from the business ontology framework will be behind the paywall. So this is to support my work. There is a great work behind what I'm doing. So is the minimum I can ask. So if you guys are happy with what you had so far, you will keep getting it. I'm not reducing anything. But if you want to do the next step, do the premium step, then stay till the end and you can have a taste of what is the premium content that I'm including. Okay, so let's go straight and quick here. Q3 update. So Electron demand through the roof. So basically, we are seeing very good momentum with Electron, with the small rocket. And by the way, we are hitting, I believe, 21 launches this year, meaning profitability. This is what Peter Beck always said, that above the 20 launches, Electron was going to be profitable. And they signed 17 new launches only in the last 3 months. So this is a big number. I think we are going to see revenue growth from Electron increasing even more than what we have seen so far in the last quarters. And by the way, we have the Electron factory that is designed for 52 slots, so it can still grow a lot without major upgrade to the factory. This means that potentially we could see a double of the electrons launched even in a short period of time, like maybe bit more than 1 year, 1 year and a half, or 2 years. So this is a very good news. But I think even better than this, which adds on, is that electrons is going global. So what does it mean? It means that except for two, the 17th launches that have been signed in the last 3 months that I've just mentioned are all with international customers from Japan, Korea, and Europe. So I think here I get back to my point about FOMO. So I believe what is happening, and this is very interesting here, is that while international space agencies like ESA or so the European one or the Japan one, JAXA, initially had and still have for sure. They wanted to build in-house or at least in country these uh, capabilities, right, to launch their own stuff in space because of course it's strategic. And while I think now they are a bit giving up, or at least they're not giving up, but they are saying, oh, well, okay, let's use Rocket Lab, but we don't want to miss out these opportunities because now everyone needs to have its own constellation, right, to do strategic stuff. So I believe they are saying, well, we are developing our own capabilities, but in parallel, let's go ahead and let's launch stuff in orbit by using Rocket Lab. This is what even Peter Beck is saying. No? So he's saying that the Electron is becoming the go-to small launch vehicle worldwide and that actors are standardizing around it. So this is very positive, right? And it's even increasing. It means that trust in Electron and Rocket Lab increases, right? And trust is the ultimate currency in space. So this is very encouraging. And even another proof that demand is climbing is that revenue per launch is climbing from 7 million in Q3 2024 to 10 million in Q3 2025. So it means that demand exceeds supply, no? Yeah. So I think this is an interesting dynamics. And yeah, I'll quote here again Peter Beck. So it was very, very promising to see space agencies now kind of standardizing on Electron as a platform. Second big point, Rocket Lab is becoming a top-tier supplier. What does it mean? It means that with the last acquisition of Geost, that is company expert in satellite payloads for electro-optical infrared sensors, meaning that they are not just supplying components or maybe the launch services, but they can supply an end-to-end complete mission. This is very important. And let me quote again here Peter Beck. So just now being a payload provider it brings you up to a whole another level because you are having really detailed mission discussions rather than just talking about how you can provide a bus or a component or something. We are really in the mission formulation territory. So this is big, guys, because this means big talks like that is equal to less competition because I mean the guys that can provide an end-to-end solution mission can be counted on the fingers of one hand. So it means less competition. Maybe you sit at the table with other one or two, and better hold of the money coming in, right? So this is very important. We got promoted in A series here. So guys, at the end, I'm not a big fan of acquisitions, but this is the way to go. And somehow Peter Beck is a master in this. Maybe it's his passion for building stuff, engineering, designing, I don't know, but he can manage this kind of environment. So go ahead, go with acquisition because that is the way. We want you to be big. We want Rocket Lab to be end to end because pulling everything in house, meaning vertical integration, is the key to winning. And I think this can be even seen as a reinforcing cycle. And you know, guys, how much I love the reinforcing cycle and the flywheel. So better money results mean more cash from investors, more buys, deeper in-house control, and even better money results. So this is working. This is working. Okay, so my takeaways: demand is booming for both rockets and space systems. You can see it by looking at revenue growth. That is 48% year over year. We are at 155 million in Q3, and even the backlog to revenue ratio, as I said, bottomed in Q2 and now is rebounding. As you see, the space system backlog was decreasing while launch backlog actually always went up. And now the space system backlog is bottomed and it's also increasing. So, and this is even more true. This is not updated, this chart with the 816 million prime contract from the US Space Development Agency that was in after the call. So this means that probably is roughly double than this, where we will see this in Q4, the backlog. And yeah, so it's very encouraging. And we got the Neutron delay, but I think it's not a big deal. I mean, as I said, trust is the ultimate currency, so we want them to be as much sure as possible that the first launch is going well, right? Because what customer see, they want their payloads to be on time in orbit. This is all what matters. So it's fine, even if they launch it in Q1 or even in Q2, that's fine. Then if would go after Q2, then I start to be a bit more worried, but I don't think that's the case. So now my performance deep dive to date is almost a 10x. So guys, this is from September 17th of last year. So it's slightly more than 1 year. It's an excellent performance. It's a 10x in 1 year or in a few months. You can see if you go to lorenzo2sense.com, you can read this article, of course, and you can also see the original deep dive on the September 17th. It's all time stamped. Okay, now let's go quickly on what is news, but I don't want to spend too much time. So if you are interested, just go read in my article that I will leave in the comments of this video, and you can go check directly lorenzo2sense.com. You will find it. It's the last one published. So as I said, I'm going to put these sections from now on. One is Business Ontology Framework. So it's composed by business ontology and a 4D valuation model. So business ontology is basically the blueprint that I use to evaluate the business. So it's independent, but is independent from the stock price. Stock price doesn't matter. I want to see that the business is growing and is going to grow in the future. So I check some specific KPIs, and here you see what are the three main: vertical integration, Neutron first launch, and backlog to revenue ratio. So you see here the results of my assessments, that is status, trend, forecast, all is green for vertical integration. Then you got the same for the neutron first launch and backlog to revenue status is orange. So it's so and so, but trend and forecast is positive. So finally, final assessment is extremely positive. And if you go here, guys, you can, if you are a premium member, then you can request access by clicking on this link to the full spreadsheet, and you will see everything is behind this assessment. Okay, this is a snapshot of how the spreadsheet looks like, but then there is another sheet that is all the input data where you can even do your analysis. Then there is the 4D valuation model that basically is a valuation model that is based on 4 dimensions. What are the 4 dimensions? Is 3 dimensions is worst case, normal case, best case scenario, and the fourth dimension is the narrative. So it's the narrative associated with each scenario. And even here, you find everything. You can request access here to the model. You find everything I've put here. It's a quite detailed model for Rocket Lab. And because it's divided, it go granular on the what I modeled as the three products that are Electron, Neutron, and space systems. So it's basically three model in one. And you can see all the assumption here. You have a snapshot, but if you are a premium member, you can ask for access here and even here see everything and even download the tool to use for your own assessment that you must do. This is a good time to remind you that this is not financial or investment advice. So do your own due diligence. So finally here, these are currently my target price. Normal case scenario is $52. 0.73 return from here. So you actually you would lose money. Best case is $173, 2.5 return. Worst case, $27. You are losing most of the capital. So I understand this is not, by the way, normal case scenario, you have 50% probability to see it happening, then 25 and 25% for the best case and worst case. So I use this 4 dimension 3+1 model to decide my allocation. Okay, this is not to say I invest or I don't invest. I cannot understand who use the fair price to make an investment decision. It doesn't make any sense. Fair price it's not to make an investment decision. It's not even to make an allocation. It's completely useless. Fair price, okay? At least not alone. Fair price alone is completely useless. So I use this 4 dimension model to decide the allocation, not to decide if to invest in it or not. So I understand that, guys, this is not so exciting. So it's not what I consider an asymmetrical bet, but big but here. I think space is the next big thing. So most likely, I am being conservative in this analysis that I'm doing in this assessment. So I will take some time before to do any action because I believe really this could be much bigger than what even I think. Then second, even if the stock now is more or less at the fair price, a bit overvalued on the base of the normal case scenario, the growth, the model that I use is 10 years, cutoffs at 10 years. It means that if Rocket Lab, I think the growth story will be much longer than 10 years because it's just starting space economy, right? I mean, at least the commercial space economy. So every year that the Rocket Lab growth story remains the same and it keeps growing at 30% year over year, actually, to be at the same valuation, around fair price, same multiple, you will see the stock climbing 30%, more or less. Just throwing some number there, but this is more or less. So it's not bad, okay? It's not a bad return, 30% per year. Then finally, taxes. I mean, 90%, I'm up 10x, meaning 90% of my position is profit. I'm not going to sell it now just to do some opportunistic action, maybe re-buy when it is a bit lower than this. I'm just holding, right? So I would say, like the experts say, analysts say, hold. Yeah, this is, I think, the moment to hold because of this reason. Okay, so bottom line, it's I feel good with my position now. It's 14% of the Lorenzo 2 cents portfolio. That, by the way, you can access if you get the premium subscription. What you get in the premium subscription, you get the access real time to my portfolio. You get you receive real time alert if I do any moves. You receive this kind of article detailed with detailed information that can help you to make your own decision. This is not financial advice, but I think these are very uh, useful. Then you get access to the chat where you can reach out to me and ask questions or in the community. You get access to all the tools and for each one of the tool, for instance, this the valuation model, the 4D valuation model, you get a lesson, a video lesson that explain how to use it. So I think it's a big value for the price. So just go check it. And again, if you are not interested, just stay free. And basic subscriber, and you will keep getting what you got so far. Okay, guys. So thanks for listening, and until next time, ciao.